Hey, it's Jay, and today I am sleeping in a brand new pump-up canvas tent. This thing is awesome, and it's easy to use, and it's huge. I'm also going to be cooking a chicken stew in a cast iron pot on top of a wood stove. And my girlfriend's going to pay a visit, and so stay tuned. This tent is massive, and I've never camped in a tent quite like this before ever in my life. It weighs quite a bit, so it's not made for weaklings, that's for sure. And it's canvas, and it's inflatable, and I can't wait to set it up. This is really interesting. So this bag right here, it's almost like a pouch to carry the tent in, and of course it expands, so it'll be really easy to throw this tent back into the pouch once I've rolled it back up. Tomorrow morning when I roll it back up, it should be easy to slide in here. One strap, two. This is heavy duty material, man. Wow. That is a thick rubber right there. That's awesome. Now let's see. What do we have? RBM's Amazing Steaks. You will not find a better steak. No other company makes steaks like RBM. I'm telling you, they're like rebar. And here are the poles. Honestly, the poles to put this up. It's a pump, and it's a big pump. Wow. Cool. That's huge. And this is the pole system for this massive tent. Okay. Oh, baby, look at that. You can just tell. You can just tell it's awesome. And I believe this is the front. There's the RBM Outdoors bear with the trees logo. So I believe, yep. And there's the zipper to get in to the front. Okay. Now, as you guys can see, I'm carrying some bear spray. It's that time of year. The bears are way out now, man. So I have my license to buy a firearm, and I'm still contemplating what firearm that I'm going to get. I don't know if you guys have any suggestions. The firearm would be for protection, right? And not protection against people, but protection against bears. That's what I'm looking for. Something that maybe I can carry in my backpack, and it's got to be, it can't be automatic, even semi-automatic. I don't know what all the rules are about that up here, but just like a pump action, maybe shotgun would be a good idea as protection. And I'm thinking, or maybe like a nice powerful rifle to keep bears away. At the same time, I want something that's a bit versatile, so if I decide I want to go maybe bird hunting this fall, looking for ptarmigan or whatever, then I can use it for that. I feel like this is a whole heck of a lot faster than a rifle though. If a bear comes up on me, like I have it here in my pocket, but if a bear comes, I mean, I could literally fire this from my pocket if I needed to, right? Whereas with a rifle, you know, I would have it loaded, I imagine, but I would take it out, I would turn off the safety, and then I would fire. But this is done, right? And they don't like it. They do not like these things, man. These things work. So I feel safe. And it's expired. I just found out it's expired. I still think it would bother a bear. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to get more bear spray. So this hand pump is huge, and it's not your average like bike tire pump for sure. Connect the air tube to the air outlet at the main body of the hand pump and insert the suitable connector to the article to be inflated. Step on the foot pedal and pump and pull the handle up and down to inflate. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so you can see right here, here's where the air comes out. And yeah, that's right. Just gonna put that on there like that. Easy as pie. So we're looking for 7 PSI. And you can see right on the top here, they've come prepared, and there is a gauge. So I'll be able to tell exactly how much pressure I have in there. You can see here, there's the opening, right? And these are the tubes, the air tubes, right here. And so it's got this neat little rubber cover here that you want to keep on. So, and what that'll do is it'll allow the air to come through, but it won't let the air come back out when you're putting on your cover after you've pumped it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to screw this on here now. Pretty straightforward. There you go. And you can see these move freely, right? They're independent of the whole entire unit. So you can put it on. There we go. Oh yeah, it wants to go. It wants to go. You can tell. Oh yeah. So now that I've got it all pumped up, I need to pull the strings. She'll open up the way she's supposed to. One thing that makes this tent so awesome and this company so awesome is that they've got everything ready to go, right? So they've got my guidelines already in place. I don't need to tie them here. My rope is ready to go. It's coiled up beautifully. And I'm just gonna undo it. I'm gonna put a stake in the ground. It's got a little loop here. You put your stake through the loop, and then you can tighten. It's all done for you. Perfect. Put my loop through, and now you tighten it just like that. Job is done. Convenience beyond belief. Right, like some tents you have to do this from the outside or the inside. Look how huge this window is. I can just come straight through and roll this up. What a good looking tent this is. Wow! It's gorgeous in here. And I'm going to do it from out here. So here are your air tubes. They're zippered shut and just working perfectly, as you can see. Now, I do think the land I'm on, like the ground I'm on, is not the greatest for this tent right now. And it's my first time using it, so I'm learning a few things about what might and might not work for this tent. What I do know is that it's very easy to set up. A canvas tent is not an easy thing to set up. I know, I've done it a lot, many times, and by myself a few times, and it's not easy. And this was just a cinch, right? Like if you can lift 70 pounds, then you can put this tent up. It's pretty much, like, it's not high, it's not doing anything like that. You don't need someone to hold it up while someone pulls a tent over top, and someone doesn't need to be inside the tent to shove up a pole. None of that. It's good to go right away. And that's like the tremendous advantage of having a canvas tent like this. So this tent comes with a stove jack. Open it up from the outside, really easy to access from the outside, and you're good to go. Now this stove that I'm using today isn't necessarily made for this tent. It's the smallest stove that RBM makes. It's the Caminus SS for small. And if I had the bigger stove, the pipe would be wider and it would be nice and snug against this. So you can see there's play here, right? There's some play with the pipe. So if it gets really windy, that could be an issue. But I'm not too worried about it. I'm pretty protected in here right now. I've changed my mind. I'm taking this wood stove out of the tent. I shouldn't be cooking inside my tent. Lots of bears, so if I'm cooking outside my tent, the aroma can go wherever. And then tonight when I go to sleep, there's no smell of food on the material. So that's the big thing. So I wasn't recording when I dumped in the chicken, unfortunately. But I can tell you guys that what I'm doing now is I'm just browning these chicken thighs, skinless chicken thighs, for a nice, hearty, delicious chicken stew. This knife right here is a beautiful gift from my girlfriend. It's the sharpest knife I've ever used. It's a Dalstrong Centurion knife. First time I've ever used like a cleaver, I guess that's what it's called, like this. And I'm getting used to it. And it's fun to use and a little bit tricky. But man, it is just the sharpest thing I've ever used, easily. So what I need to do is I got to get the celery and I got to get the onion diced right away. I'm going to throw that right in there. Okay. Okay, so I got a surprise for the channel, and I'm hoping it will be perhaps a significant part of the channel. We shall see. It depends on how things go. It might be time to time type thing, but it's something very new to me, and it's a first for my life. And it's right here. It's like coming around the corner here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh! It's my poodle. It's a mini poodle. And his name is Puffy. When we got him, his fur was like puffy all over the place. And he's only about 5.5 months old. And he is an amazing addition to my life right now. He's a good boy. And I'm hoping he can be an outdoors dog and join me on the channel. We just got him a haircut last week. And so he's not as puffy as he was, but there, take a look. There he is. See? That's Puffy right there. Hey Puffy, what do you got to say to the camera? What do you got to say? Hey? Oh, do it again. Do it again. Oh man. He's a good boy. And Crystal is here too. Crystal, come on. Crystal's my girlfriend if you've watched my channel. Here she is. So she just showed up with the dog. And she's the dog's mom, and I'm the dog's dad at this point. And she's lived with dogs. She grew up on a farm. She's had many dogs in her life, and this is my first. So I'm really hoping he'll be obedient. We have him on a leash right now because he might just run for the hills and never come back because he's still a puppy. But he's a mini poodle. And what do you think, Crystal? How big do you think he'll be?
I think he's going to be about 20.
About 20 pounds. So that to me is a good size for a first dog. Mm-hmm. Is he going to be a good dog to have out in the woods? Time will tell. I'm told poodles are pretty good, actually hunting dogs. So who knows, maybe he'll come looking for ptarmigan with me once he's well trained. So we've got him doing sit at this point. And
inconsistently.
Inconsistently, yeah. He does sit from time to time. And he's just a good, well-behaved, loving dog. And yeah, I don't know, what do you guys think? Would you like to see Puffy on the channel from time to time? I'd love to get him out at the tent when it's winter and it's freezing out, but I imagine there'll be some wolves who would want to dine on him, so he's got to be obedient before he comes. So we're working on that. Hey, Puffy. Hey, buddy. Hey.
Look, he has stuff on his phone.
He's tangled.
He is tangled. You're cruel.
Can you get out of that, buddy? Okay, so this is more of a soup than a stew.
That's amazing.
Oh, it looks okay. Yeah, it's more of a soup, but I think it's going to be good. Oh, yeah. It's going to be hot. You okay with that?
I need my soup hot. Soup hot. I want like half that.
Okay.
Maybe just like one potato.
A little bit more chicken.
Yeah.
For that soup.
A bit broccoli. That's good.
There you go.
Mm.
Good.
I saw your amount of pepper and I was like, yeah, I need that amount.
Oh, okay.
All right. Did you put another potato in there?
Nope.
Oh no, I broke it up. Can we eat it?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, it's really good.
It's nice, eh?
Kind of helps that it's a cool night too.
Yeah, it's really nice. Part of me wants to bring that wood stove back into the tent. I had it in the tent to start. I was going to cook in there, and then I thought it's a bad idea because of the flavors, the aromas. Bear might be like, oh, that tent smells like chicken stew. Not bad.
Really good.
Good night, Puffy. Good night, buddy. See ya.
Mosquitoes. You're gonna go to bed.
Okay, time for bed, Puffy, okay?
Hey.
See ya, buddy. All right, I brought the stove back in. It's cooled right down. And it's getting chilly outside. I have to say it's getting a bit chilly out there. So I'm just gonna keep the tent semi-warm with the screen doors open, but at the same time, with the stove going, so that way I'll have a bit of cool air and warm air all at the same time. So I had a bit of wood in the back of my truck, and I brought it just in case, and I hadn't realized that I actually brought some small pieces of wood like this, some small cuts, just like scraps left over from when I was like chopping up wood. That was thrown in the back of my truck, and that's perfect for this. There must be oh, it's twisted. There we go. I gotta shut this down. It's getting hot now. So I'm looking for the natural split in the wood. There's one right there. See if I can get this. This one's twisted a bit too. There we go. There we go. That should go in there. I've got enough wood for the night for sure. You know, I've watched some channels that have tents. Actually, I shouldn't say. I've seen a few channels with tents like this, and a lot of them go full on, really fancy, and beds, couches, fridges, you name it. And I'm kind of using this this tent, a very similar tent, just kind of in the way that I camp, right? And so if I had a broom in here, I would 1,000,000% be sweeping all of this up. I didn't bring one, and that's fine. But yeah, it's just kind of like, it reminds me of the early days camping when I was just getting started in my first canvas tent, and I would come in by the stove and I would split wood by the stove. Man, I love wood stoves, and I love splitting wood. And today I cooked that meal out on the wood stove, and I've been thinking a lot lately and talking to Crystal a lot lately about just doing like a cooking channel. Yes, I cook on this channel. Every video pretty much has some sort of cooking on it. But I feel like I really want to focus on the cooking, like go all out. You know what I mean? And not like stop doing this. This is my baby, right? This is like the heart and soul of the channel. But I'm really thinking about once every couple of weeks, just a cooking video on a wood stove somewhere in the wild. Set up the wood stove somewhere, cook on it, eat the meal, and yeah, like I love watching cooking channels, especially people who are cooking out in the wilderness. And I feel like this would be something a little bit different if I'm out in the woods with different wood stoves, and just enjoying nature. I don't know, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Like if that's something that you would be interested in on top of this on the channel. Like would you watch that? Would you watch me cook a baked mac and cheese with bologna mixed in there, fried bologna mixed in, some potato chips crisp on top, cooked on a wood stove somewhere out in the middle of the woods? I don't know. It sounds delicious to me right now, but yeah, I'd love to get your thoughts on that. If you'd be interested in watching something like that once every couple of weeks maybe on the channel, because man, I think about it a lot. Something I'd like to do just to switch things up, you know, just to have something a little bit different on the channel from time to time. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. So this is wicked right here. I've decided to set up over by the wood stove because it's giving off like a nice heat. It's just like radiating a little bit over here. It's not overdoing it. It's just perfect. I don't have anything but this, right? So the temperature is supposed to drop quite a bit tonight. I do have the sleeping bag, but I don't have a sweater or nothing like that. Like I came thinking the stove would do me well, and so you know it is sure enough. It's paying off. So I'm going to sit right here, and I'm going to probably watch a documentary, and on my phone, and listen to the birds, and just take in this really awesome moment out here, and yeah, and then I'll hit the sack. got chilly. It got cold last night. And I let that stove go out, so I was a bit chilled. There was like a murder of ravens that flew over this morning. I think it would be called a murder of ravens because it's called a murder of crows when you see a flock of crows. And of course ravens and crows are pretty much the same thing, except for one's a whole heck of a lot bigger. Yeah, so they were like going nuts early this morning, like really early, and they woke me up a bit. And then once I fell asleep, I was like, whew, really sleeping well. Like I was like right in it. It was perfect. Comfortable, warm in my sleeping bag. It's nice and airy in here. The wind is really picked up. It's very windy outside. And this tent is like a rock. Like, it's nothing to it, man. It's like a champion out here in the wind. There's a little bit of heat in there, for sure. One cool thing I noticed last night about these tents is it has like a vent in the front and in the back in the top corners, and that allows for the tent to breathe. It fights against any sort of carbon monoxide issues that you might have if you're using a wood stove. Yeah, it's good. Another cool thing they have is a clothesline, and that runs the entire length of the tent, and it comes with like a, I guess it's like a slip knot, you'd call it. I've never made one of these. I gotta learn how to make that. But yeah, so you can hang things. Taking my stove away from the tent. It still has hot ash in it for sure. It's still pretty hot. And I'm going to dump it in an area that's away from the tent, so that way if I come back to this location, it's going to be nice and clean right where I've camped. And another thing is I'm putting this ash on rock right now. There's no fire ban where I am, but the ground is really dry, and you guys all saw that I was picking up all this dead stuff off of the ground. So if I put the hot coals and ashes on the ground near the tent, even though I have water to put it out, who knows, right? Maybe a bit of coal or whatever, a hot ember gets underneath of the ground and catches a root or something, and then I've created a forest fire, right? So I don't want that. So I'm going to do my best now to put it out on this rock, douse it completely with water, and I'll feel good about the situation. There, that's completely out now. So for me, this is really the moment of truth about this tent. I'm wondering how it's going to do when it comes to deflating and packing up and getting it back into its bag. Setting it up was a cinch, and now that I've done it once, I think it'll be faster and faster each and every time I set this tent up. I don't want this thing to be a struggle when it comes to pushing the air out and folding it up. So let's see what happens here. I feel like it's just going to go. There's a lot of pressure. Wow. That's pretty neat, I gotta say. Okay. Done. Perfect, man. Well, that's it for me, guys. This was a really fun video. I love testing out that tent. I love putting it away, actually. I was dreading it, and then it turned out to be a real cinch. And yeah, it was just a really nice experience. And there's a few moments that really stood out to me. One, when Crystal came and we enjoyed that bowl of chicken stew. That was really nice. It was delicious. When I got to introduce Puffy to the channel, he's a cute little guy, man, and I'm really hoping he can be sturdy enough to be a part of this channel even in the deep cold. I know he's a little dog, but he's a man. He's going to be a man as a little dog. And I really loved cutting the wood in the tent, as I mentioned earlier. That just really felt nice. And the other part that I really liked was when I was sitting out in front of the tent and I was having a coffee. I sat there for about 30 to 40 minutes drinking that coffee, and I didn't want to move. I just wanted to just sit there and just be out here in nature, listening to the birds. It was just perfect. There was a cool breeze on me, but it was warm, and to me that's what this whole video was about for me, right? specific moments. And it was just a really good time, and I hope you guys had some moments in this video where you thought, oh, that's pretty cool, or I enjoyed that. And if you did, I'd love for you to hit like. It really helps out the channel, and I'd love for you to subscribe as well. The vast majority of people who watch this channel aren't subscribers, so it would mean a lot if you would subscribe. And yeah, let me know what you thought of the tent. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what you think of Puffy. Let me know what you think of me doing a cooking segment once every few weeks out on a wood stove in the woods somewhere, if that's something you'd watch. I'm just looking to shake things up a little bit. I can really feel it in my soul. It's something that I want to do, and I'd love for you guys to be a part of it. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back really soon.